Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube tarot channel. This is going to be an energetic check-in for the collective for the full moon in Aquarius, which we have today, August 15th. It'll kind of also be, I guess, like a mid-month check-in since it is the 15th and we're right in the middle of the month. For the collective, I'm going to use a 6-card spread, and then following this video, I'll do videos for the elements and signs, and I think I'll be using 3-card spreads in those videos. So this one will likely be a little bit longer than the rest, but this will be for all signs, all elements, masculine, feminine, energies do not discriminate. So let's go ahead and get started. I have to shuffle. So immediately, actually already at the bottom of the deck, I see the Tower card, which if you looked at the August monthly general collective reading, you'll see that that card from a different deck actually came up for this month as well. So maybe some people are still currently experiencing a Tower moment. You know, and a Tower is just sort of sudden or unexpected change. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. It could be something that's sort of happening within your external environment, or it could be something that's happening, you know, sort of internally within you. So as I'm saying that, I also see the Star card at the bottom of the deck. Okay. And I'm also seeing the 6 of Swords here at the bottom of the deck, which could talk about moving, you know, perhaps for some people there's some kind of transition taking place. Let's see what the cards say. Some interesting energies coming out here. Okay, at the bottom of the deck we have the Moon card. The Moon can represent sort of illusions, secrets, mysteries. It could be, you know, something that someone is keeping from you, or perhaps this is something that you're sort of keeping from yourself. You know, perhaps it can be repressed emotions or sort of things sort of buried deep down within our subconscious. And perhaps that's the Tower moment that's trying to come to the fore. At the top of the deck, we have the 5 of Swords in reverse. So I like seeing this card. This 5 of Swords can talk about conflict, sort of putting your swords down. And coming up in the reverse, this is telling me that, you know, it's likely that for anyone who is experiencing a Tower moment, especially if it's something that is particularly difficult, that you're sort of coming out the other side of that right now. I'm just going to shift these cards down so y'all can see them. Yeah, that you're coming out the other side of it. So what we have coming out here at the top of the spread is the 4 of Pentacles. Pentacles can talk about monetary matters, business, work, that kind of thing. It can also talk about sort of the stability of your home life, you know, your friendship group. It can talk about your relationship. And coming up in the reverse, you know, perhaps if you are going through some kind of transition, or let's say you're starting something new, perhaps you're thinking about, you know, really how do you solidify the groundwork and the foundation of whatever this thing is. Similarly, for some of you, this may be speaking to, you know, needing to save your money or put some kind of budgeting plan in process. I know that that's something that I have been focusing on. So, you know, that could be related to any sort of transits or Tower moments that some people may be experiencing right now, but this 4 of Pentacles right now is top of mind. For others of you, I am also picking up energy right now that, you know, you or someone else could also sort of be holding back in some sense right now. So apply that however it may resonate. Again, it could be sort of saving money, sort of holding back in a financial sense, but perhaps it's also, you know, holding back how they feel, or holding back communication, that kind of thing. Okay, so we have coming up next the Knight of Cups in reverse, and when I saw this card come out, it sort of piqued my interest a little bit because I believe yesterday this card came out. I post every other day card guidance on Instagram. My name is down below if you want to follow me, and so that you can look at those every other day cards that I post. But this Knight of Cups came up in the upright in yesterday's every other day card reading. So seeing this in the reverse today in this spread, in this position, this is the self-care tip to try. So I will reference the book for part of this reading and in particular for this card because I think it will be super helpful for anyone for whom this message resonates. What I'm getting off of this card, is that perhaps you or someone else, again, I am getting a little bit of sort of holding back right now. And with this Knight of Cups, it may be talking about holding back in sort of an emotional sense. I am getting that for some of you, perhaps whatever situation it is that you're going through right now, you are sort of expecting some sort of offer or opportunity or apology from someone, or perhaps someone is waiting for you to forgive them. Again, these energies can be vice versa. It could be you or someone else. So just apply it how it resonates. Just taking a sip of water. But yeah, with the Knight of Cups in reverse, I'm somewhat getting the sense that perhaps whomever is needing to be forthcoming with this cup, this offer, is holding back. So let's dig into the book super quickly and just see what it has to say here. I'll probably look into the meaning in reverse, and then this book, it's the Neo Tarot, also has really great self-care tips as part of each meeting. So in the reverse, it says, an upside down Knight of Cups is a person or energy unable to take positive action in a relationship or in their relationship with themselves. Something may be preventing you from expressing your heart's desire right now. Maybe your daydream disposition has swung a little too far into emotional idleness or self-absorption. Feeling unstable or erratic is nothing to be ashamed of, but it does need to be addressed in order to move forward and maintain healthy relationships in the process. So the self-care tip says, dream journaling is loved by everyone from Jungian psychoanalysts to mystics for a reason. It helps us gain insight into the subconscious mind and its metaphors. Keep a notebook and pen by your bed. Every morning, write down everything you remember from dreamland. The more often you do it, the more you may remember your dreams, so stick with it. Yeah, I'm really glad we looked into that. So definitely what I was picking up on in terms of, perhaps suppressed emotions or holding back from an emotional perspective, for whatever reason, is the self-care. The self-care tip is basically trying to get you to open up more. Oh, there's my dog. To open up more and, to really plumb the depths of your subconscious, I guess, is really what I'm looking for here. And I really enjoy dream journaling. I often advise clients, because I had heard one time as a bit of advice to keep a glass of water by my bed. People are iffy on that, whether you should keep the water or not, but definitely, as the book says, to keep a journal and a notebook by your bed so that when you wake up in the morning, you can jot down whatever it is that you may remember from your dreams. Okay, cool. So moving on to the next card, this is saying what may be stopping you. And we have here the Ace of Swords in reverse. And perhaps not coincidentally again, the Ace of Swords, I didn't pull cards this morning because I pull them every other day. So this was an off day basically. But I sort of had a whole thing that I've been sort of thinking about, ruminating on. And in fact, I had written some just like sayings that I like to post and stuff. It was the truth transcends illusion. I wrote it weeks ago, but for some reason it came to mind to me last night as I was wrapping up working on a client reading. And so I wrote this thing today that I posted on Instagram about the truth, and specifically about the Ace of Swords, and the characters in the tarot that carry the sword. So the King and Queen of Swords, as well as the Justice typically, right? So with this Ace of Swords, this truth coming out in the reverse, what I'm getting here, and I put it back down there actually in the upright, because this sort of truth, our truth, our central truth, our inner truth, is accessible to all of us. It's really a matter of whether you choose to tap into it, and if so, whether you choose to listen to it or not. And that's really what's going to make the difference here. And that's why this Ace of Swords in reverse is coming up in the what's stopping you category, because we all have certain central truths that we have to face about ourselves that may be quite difficult, or about others, right? That may be quite difficult. but we have to do it if we want to move forward. So whether that's coming to some kind of resolution, forgiving other people and putting the past behind you so that you can move forward in a certain regard, or whether it's realizing, hey, you know what, this part of my life, this person in my life has served their time and their purpose, and now it's time for me to move on with an attitude, you know, of grace and gratitude. I really like that saying, which actually comes up on one of the Sacred Traveler Tarot Oracle cards. So maybe we'll get that one, we'll see. Okay, so just continuing on through the spread. What I like seeing coming up here in the 4th position is the Devil card in reverse. This is saying how to address this. So Devil energy, you know, if not a Capricorn person, which I'm not really picking up in this reading that for anyone it's a person. I'm getting more that it's an energy. And again, I really feel like this has to do with each of us, right? We all have sort of devilish characteristics that, you know, are hard to deal with, things that we have to reckon with, things that we've done or said, you know, allowing our emotions to override our logic, or vice versa, whatever, how, you know, and in whatever way that may manifest in work, in our personal relationships, etc. But with this Devil card coming up in reverse, you know, and I like that it follows this sword, it's like you have to cut any of those negative or toxic addictions or behaviors, or you know, sometimes it is connections, you know, with other people, even people whom we may love, right? Like on the Devil's card is actually the lovers, but they're bound by the devil. There's a codependency perhaps, or something that's negative or toxic or addictive in a connection, or, you know, sort of within yourself, or within how you behave, how you show up in the world, that's being asked to get rid of, so that you can have a solid foundation, so that you can be forthcoming with your emotions when it's time to do so. So I really like, you know, again, this book, this deck and this book are really phenomenal. I really recommend it for anyone who's interested in tarot or in decks. So I'm just going to read, again, the reverse and self-care meaning for this card. I probably won't do it for any others just because I want to be mindful of time, but I really like the meaning and the self-care tip in this deck. So it says, we all have a propensity to get into situations we know aren't good for our growth. Resisting temptation and making peace with fear is difficult, but you'll do it. You're doing it. Use your newfound faith to detach from whatever is not serving you. It's harder to progress than it is to stay put, but don't despair. Even though you feel defeated and exhausted, know that every time you detach yourself, even a little, from the forces that keep you down, you're healing. So the self-care tip states, embrace your shadow by indulging in some wild fun. Go to a party, become more sexually adventurous, embody the spirit of Dionysian pleasure responsibly. Anything that makes you feel more free and whole. There is nothing scary or evil within you. There is only you. Accepting yourself is non-negotiable. And I promise you, it's like every time I read that last line, I'm just going to say it again. Actually, the last 3 sentences. There is nothing scary or evil within you. There is only you. Accepting yourself is non-negotiable. I mean, that is basically the central tenet of living life. Like, even if you think of the circumstances in which you were born into, if they're not ideal, you have to just sort of accept it. It is not a commentary or a stamp on or mark on who you are as a person or the person that you can be. Just like anything you may have said or done in your past does not necessarily have to inform your present or your future, right? So I think this is a really powerful reading. I think, you know, the energy that we have collectively sort of been building up to and receiving here on the planet, that's here for basically for us to utilize, to alchemize, to create the things that it is that we want, to, you know, heal those parts of ourselves, those areas of ourselves which have been crying out since childhood to be healing, right? That inner child work. You know, this reading is really saying like, that energy is here and available to us, and it's time to do the work. For those of you who already have started doing the work, that's great. It's time to continue the work, and I think Spirit is really asking us to go deeper. And for those people who haven't yet started the work, it's like now's the time to sort of get on the bandwagon, so to speak, you know? Okay, so let's just keep going with the spread here. We have next coming up the Hierophant in the upright. I'm just referencing the spread real quick. It just says, okay, here's the benefit of addressing it. With this Hierophant card, right, the Hierophant can sort of represent a counselor of some sort, but what I'm actually really getting in this card is, you know, that connection to God or whatever it is that you believe, to source, to spirit, to the universe, to, and again, you get there by following your truth, right? It's like whenever any one of us is following our life path and purpose, we are aligned with the path that we basically already agreed to and co-created with the Creator, right? When we chose to incarnate into this body, into this life, we said, this is what we're going to do. Now, granted, there's a whole human experience that comes along with that, but, you know, part of the path is finding your way to the path, to what it is that you already sort of know within you, to what already lives within you, the truth that lives within you. And I keep wanting to put that Ace of Swords back in the upright, you know, because again, it's accessible to everyone here. It's just whether or not you're following and honoring your sort of truth or not. And when you do, you strengthen your connection to God. And when you do that, everything else starts to become even clearer, right? The places that you should go, the people that you should be engaged with, the things that you should be doing, whatever it is that you need to do to keep your body and mind healthy, your spirit healthy, right? It's sort of like a snowball effect in a certain way as you align onto the path, similarly to how it's a snowball effect when you go off of that path. Okay. So coming out last, how you'll thrive, is the Knight of Swords. And to me with this card, again, it's like really taking action, getting on that horse and riding off with that sort of truth that you're holding here. I didn't even discuss this Knight of Swords in the thing that I posted today. I just discussed this Ace of Swords, King and Queen, and the Justice. But yes, this Knight of Swords, he's also holding this sort of truth. This is or you know, him or her, it doesn't really matter. Holding this sort of truth, it is what's going to point them directionally, metaphorically, in the right way, on the right path. So I really love, and this is powerful energy, guys, coming out with this full moon reading. I typically talk about, you know, new moon intentions and manifestations, but I definitely feel like this full moon is great for manifestations, anything new that you want to bring into your life, new habits that you want to set, new projects that or hobbies that you want to start, new people that you want to start, you know, integrating into your life. You know, it doesn't have to be like specific people. It can be certain kinds of people. You know, maybe you're looking for a teacher, or you're looking to teach people, or what have you. Okay, so as I was saying that, I was actually thinking of, you know, everyone just sort of, as you find your path, you find your soul tribe. And it's like, here, look, we have here coming up at the bottom, Voyage of, I haven't even shuffled yet, but Voyage of the Heart, love flows through you and to you. This actually came up in that Every Other Day card reading with the Knight of Cups as well. But then finding sanctuary, opening to your spiritual source. And that's what I was just talking about with that Hierophant card. So we're just going to get one Sacred Traveler Tarot Oracle for the collective for this full moon in Aquarius energy. Again, really powerful, potent energy. I hope that, you know, everyone who watches this really is able to utilize this energy in the way that it should be, you know. So two things coming out here. Again, with this Tower, I am getting that, sorry, that was my flip-flop, that for some people, you know, perhaps you're going through a difficult time, and on this card, you know, this mouse is kind of seeing like a roadblock. This is not the card that came up, but I just think it's fitting given the card that did come up. So it says impasse, excuse me. Reflect and redirect your energy. Lovely. And then the card that did fly out, it says traveling lightly. Simplify your life. And if you notice, it's like the path here, this little squirrel's like looking, and like the path's blocked here by this wall. But then if you look, I don't know if y'all will be able to see it, but on this card it actually says this way. right? So it's like by going within, right, especially if you feel like you're coming up upon roadblocks, you know, or what have you, go within, really ask source spirit, connect with your guides, connect with your ancestors, and ask them to show you which is the right way to go. Okay, so I just want to get, sorry, this is going a little bit longer than I intended, but I just want to get one more card for the collective, just one numerology guidance, for the collective. I'm like, which cards were those that wanted to fly out? But let's see what the numerology guidance is going to be for the collective with this August 15th full moon in Aquarius energies. And we have rebirth, which goes perfectly with that tower energy that has come out for the month, and that came out again when I was shuffling the cards for this reading. So I'm just going to read the affirmation. I'm not going to read anything else from the book. I think this word, you know, is pretty self-explanatory, but the affirmation states, through personal transformation, I reach my greatest potential. Absolutely. Okay. So that's lovely energy coming out for the collective. Again, I will do videos for the elements and the signs, so those will be posted just after this video. If you like this video, please like, share, comment, or subscribe. I'm really happy to see the ways in which the channel is growing. I'm really looking forward to engaging with more of my viewers, and I'm also working on putting together a tarot class, so a beginner's tarot class. So if you're interested, you know, like I said, just subscribe. Hopefully, you know, hopefully it will be up in the next few weeks, and you'll be able to be apprised as long as you follow along. As well, I will be posting about it to my social media channels too, so feel free to follow me there. And then finally, I am available for personal readings should you want to book a personal reading. All those details are down below. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Bye.